the night was a pretty populated night. There was a lot of raffles giving away a big car, I believe, like a Mercedes. It was a very populated night. A lot of people were there, which was great. We did a 45-minute set, and they took a break to announce the winners, and then we ended with another set. And I mean, the place was lively. We ended and did a meet and greet. We were in the middle of that, and we talked to people and take pictures and such. And suddenly, we just noticed like a chaotic scene towards the end. Towards the back of the lounge area, what was it, the Que Pasa lounge, and then security came by, and there was mention of an active shooter, so they started to kind of hurdle us to exit in a safely manner. And we did. We exited, and they held us outside closely towards the back of the casino there for a while, and we really didn't know like the severity. Was kind of back and forth. Uh, I know the security personnel was very calm and just keeping everybody at ease. And there was a lot of commotion. I remember that. So we were just kind of waiting, and I feel like we were waiting there maybe what 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it did. It felt a lot for me that it moved in slow motion. We were doing the meet and greet and lively. It was the most packed that I've ever seen the facility. We played there in the spring, and this was even more people for this promotion. And for me, with Rosalia, it seemed surreal at times. Just all of the sensory overload of the lights flashing and the sounds of winning and people having a good time and laughing, and we just come off this great set and people having a wonderful time, and to hear something out of context, run, active shooter, it was a bit what, just waiting for it, and is that true? And then the manner in which the security protocol handled it was so calm, and they started to move people back through the backstage area of the venue. And for me, I was very concerned about a lot of the elderly that were trying to get out through the ramp on the side. And again, security and the people there in the casino, they did an amazing job to get everyone out in a time that we just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, we were there. I want to say it was about 10, 15 minutes outside, and then they gave about an all clear, and then they moved everyone inside, and then there was like a shift. Instead of like everybody outside, now they wanted everyone inside, and then they locked all the doors. Nobody can go outside, and they kept us, well, the band, since we were technically working with the casino at that night, we were allowed to stay with our equipment and situate that area. And I remember a lot of the personnel were if you were not a part of the band, you had to leave. So they were escorting everyone out of the casino and back to like stay confined in their rooms. Um, and then I want to say we needed to get clearance before they could release us out to our rooms. And while we were doing that, of course, we were just making sure our equipment was safe and secure. And what seemed maybe another 20, 25 minutes, they gave us the all clear, and we were able to get escorted through the casino. And it was a very eerie feeling, because you're used to like the lights and the happy and the greatness and people winning, and it was like quiet, and like you just can feel the somberness of it all. Walking towards the front, you really felt the impact of the severity of the issue. There was all types of law enforcement, heavily equipped with a lot of machinery, just the panic.
It
And
was
there's
it
like
was like
a
a scene in a
river,
movie. It really was.
river
Yeah.
of police. Outside, you can see like, the entire way of surrounding of police officers. And we were escorted, guided up to our room, and everyone that was staying at the casino was instructed to stay in their rooms until further notice. When we were able to leave this morning, the casino was closed till further notice. And, we just been listening to different things about the situation and the story that has developed. And I mean, we're just very like saddened by the fact of the casualties and the victims that and their families, and just want to keep everybody lifting them up in prayers and keeping them in our hearts and thoughts. And we were with the community during these difficult moments. It was for sure
It was a lot.
It was especially realizing the severity of it. I mean, mind you, the stage area is more towards the back of the casino, and then walking towards the front where we realized that's where the commotion was. I feel like we were pretty much in a safer area of the casino, but once you really walk towards the front and just felt that impact of the seriousness of it, it really like just hit me like, whoa, this is intense.
And for me, when the motion of the people were coming into the Que Pasa lounge from the casino floor, I saw one man running and he jumped. And if you've ever been in the Que Pasa lounge, that from the dance floor to the stage is probably a good couple of feet. Mm-hmm. And he launched up, and that's when I realized this is really serious. And I turned around and I grabbed my bag and I threw a tablecloth over my guitars as we ran out, and we grabbed the keyboard player with us. And we were in the process of just packing up anyway. And the guys were out there, and we were just trying to figure out what was going on. But again, we were outside and they closed those doors behind us. And it was really an eerie feeling that we were out there outside, not knowing what was going on.
When I was sick, I do remember complimenting the staff for keeping everyone safe and calm, and not really, being alarming, but trying to keep everyone as calm as possible, and assuring that everybody was going to be okay, and just kind of also, I mean, them following instruction as they were receiving it. I mean, I cannot imagine being that personnel during that time, trying to control the situation when I'm sure all the communication was, all over the place at that time. But I feel like they did really well. I did feel safe the entire time going, getting cleared to go through the casino. So it seemed like they were making sure that the entire grounds were cleared off and safe.
Yeah, there was obviously training that had been in place. It was so effective in the way that it was done. There was absolutely no confusion. It was smooth and orderly, and it gave a feeling of that relaxed confidence that was needed when there was so much that was uncertain.
It's definitely a mixed crowd, but catered more to the older crowd. I would say maybe mid-30s to definitely past retirement age. More so, like you mentioned, she was concerned for, the elderly crowd that was in wheelchairs and such. But yeah, it's just, it's definitely, I would say, what, 30, 35 and up, for sure.
Yeah, they led them around through the side on the ramps, up through the backstage area. And for me, I was just mindful seeing them with the walkers and the canes. I found myself hanging back a little bit to make sure that they were making it through the obstacles backstage. Even as we were leaving, I was moving my own stuff out of the way just to make it easier for folks.
And you're still
cases, cords.
You don't want people to get, nobody should be back there anyway. So we're not actively cautious of like, oh, hey, somebody can trip. It's a trip hazard. We're constantly coming in and out, changing outfits or such. So you never think that a whole crowd's going to go through that space, but there was ramps. I believe one of the security personnel was guiding them out accordingly, and everybody was, I think, the feel of it in the beginning, the first time we had to exit, I don't think anybody really knew the severity of it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like okay, maybe this is kind of like a warning or kind of like something just in cases, maybe somebody said active shooter accidentally or purposefully or jokingly, and like they were acting on it. And it didn't feel as intense. But then once it went back to like an inside feel, and maybe this is just me personally, but I think it was like, oh, okay, man, this is not a joke or a drill or just kind of like a, hearsay, she said, kind of.
And the security protocol that we go through as musicians, where we have to load in and they inspect everything, and so that and then they do it when we leave as well, and so we appreciate that for the safety aspect of it. And everything was lit well. I do remember that the security guards all had flashlights and they were lighting the way. It is dark backstage, but they had turned on all the lights, and it was orderly. And for something that was the unknown, I didn't have any cell service. We had a few,
Yeah,
that was one of the things. So we didn't really know what was going on.
it's still very early on to really know. I think being that it's still a very developing story, I did feel safe there. I did feel guided, like very, very, what's the words I want to say? I felt very safe.
I love playing
However,
there. I
you
do.
know, I don't know if they'll do anything else to up security. I mean, I do want to mention, like, even going into the casino from the lobby area, there's metal detectors and you can't, pass anything through. So I've always felt safe there. And then after this whole ordeal, getting escorted out and the way it was handled, I do feel like it was very safe. As far as like returning, of course, like I kind of feel just, and that's just with anything. I think there's just this mentality, this mindset where like, oh my God, anything can happen anywhere in a public setting, right? So it's not per se, oh, performing there again. It's like more of like a mentality of like, oh my God, performing anywhere in public, right? It becomes a fear of being just in public in general, not just in a specific location. So it's just one of those things that, do we let it affect our daily lives, our quality of living, or do we just, be more mindful and be more aware of things and, make this as an awareness to, if somebody says, hey, protocols, let's, continue in orderly fashion and not, be very in a panic mode,
Right.
state of mind, whether it's um uh, uh, like a serious matter or just kind of like a what do I want to call it, like a protocol or like a, man, I'm losing my words here.
We've been up a long time.
Yes,
We've
we're
yet
like
to go to
make,
bed. So thank you for your patience on
yeah,
this.
it's been,
But yeah, and for me personally, I look forward to going back. I think that it will only be more enhanced, more safe going back.
so being that we've seen both ends of it, very high security, with, as far as even checking in as a band, you have to go through the security office in the back and you leave your ID there. And they keep it for the duration. They give you a visitor's pass and you're in their system. And it doesn't really open anything. It's just a personal ID. If you have that badge, people will let you through if need be. Now, then they guide you to the actual backstage area where you unload everything, but you don't take it into the building. Several, I think it's at least two security officers for Kickapoo will physically go through every single item in your personal belongings or your gear or anything whatsoever that you're checking in. And then they let you load in, and load in, sound check, such and such. Now, as far as, we're giving, the rooms just to stay in, we're performing, and coming in through the room side of it, there's metal detectors in any entrance of the casinos. There's metal detectors, and they do check pretty thoroughly.
Everything.
I did go up to the room before our first set, and I was taking back some coats in one of the, in like a wardrobe carrying case, and they went through it, even through like the opening of the main casino entrance. And yeah, and they had me pass back, go back, and pass back through to make sure that it didn't go off again, you know, and the same thing for my husband. They did want him down, and it's always felt very high security, very, very high security there as far as entering into the casino grounds. So yeah, we do not know. We know that there was bullet like impacts like on some machines, and then there was
Apparently the bullets were ricocheting off the
yeah,
slot machines,
we
and that's how people were injured.
we do know that there was a section closed off, we, you know, taped off when we were leaving. I was one of the last ones to leave. So it appeared like those vehicles were not able to leave at that time. I guess they were still part of that very active investigation, or the you know, scene that was where all the bullets, I guess, were taking place. But I personally, again, I don't know the facts, but it seemed like there was indoor and outdoor, you know, fires from what
Several checkpoints,
yeah.
three checkpoints leaving today for the community.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very terrifying, tragic incident that many had to witness and be a part of. And, you know, some people don't get to hug their families tonight. So we're just, our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the community of Eagle Pass, to the people of Eagle, yeah, at Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino, and um we're with you.